Welcome back to Computer Applications. This is Mrs. Hoffman, and today we're doing Lesson 11 for Google Documents, and we're going to be learning how to add headers and footers to our document, page numbers, and number of pages, and how to insert page breaks for multiple page reports. I'm going to start by creating a new document. I'm in my Documents folder, and I'm just going to create a new document to work with here. Recall that when we start a new document, the first thing we should do is give the document a title. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that so I can title this document. So this will be a good example for this. So this is long document practice. And then put your initials at the end. So this will be a good lesson, and you'd find many of the tips that we're going to talk about today for multiple page reports that you might have to do. So we're going to start by talking about adding page numbers to our document. When you have a multiple page report, oftentimes it's very handy to number your pages so that you know which page you're on, and it helps the reader as well. And so that's as simple as clicking on insert and going to page number. And so you have two options. You can either do the top of the page, which will show up in the top right hand corner, or you can do the bottom of the page. So this document will have both, and that goes in the bottom right hand corner. And you don't really have an option to move that page number. You know, it comes up where Google puts it there. So when we do that, you'll notice that I get a faint line right here if I click on the page number. This area up here is called the header area, and likewise on the bottom, if I click on the page number on the bottom, this gray line and below is called the footer area. The footer area, and normally you can't type in this area as part of your margin. Headers and footers are unique in that whatever you type in the header will show up on each page of your document. So by inserting the page number, the computer will automatically number your pages. Page 1 will be 1, the second page will have a 2, and so on. If I go ahead and add, for instance, my last name after that, it'll still number the pages, but it'll also have my last name after the page number, and that would be true for each of the pages, the subsequent pages. So let me go ahead and insert a page break. So you can see now I'm on page 2, and you can see that page 1, the 1 became a 2 for page 2, and you can also see down here in the footer the same thing happened. And so that would continue to happen either by inserting manual page breaks like I just did, or as your document gets long and it flows over to a second page, it'll automatically do the numbering there as well. So whatever you type inside this header area, and you can make it multiple lines long if you want to. I could put the date, for example. And then that would also show up on the second page. So, and that's true for if you do it in the footer as well. So it's kind of a handy feature, and it prevents you from having to manually page number your pages, and it's helpful if your instructor or someone tells you specifically what they want you to have on every page, maybe at the top. This is a great tool to use. So if you just go to insert, actually I'm in the header, so it's not going to let me insert header, but if I click on insert and I go to header, then it brings me back to this header area, or I can just click up here. And same thing would be for the footer. I could go to insert and then footer, and it would bring me down to the footer area, and I could work in there. So you can change, I guess you could change the alignment one way though. Do you see here how it's right aligned? So if I change it to left aligned, I guess I could put my page number there, or I could put it in the center. Those are some adjustments that you can do with the page numbering, and that would be true for, so by default it lines up your header and footers on the right, but you can change it to be at the left or the center if you decide that's a better place for your page numbers or your header or footer. Okay, so that's how we do headers and footers. There is one more feature though that you may like. Sometimes you'll see at the bottom of pages where it'll say, like, for example, you know, page 1 of, and then however many pages it is. And so the way that you get that second number on there is you just simply go to insert and you go to page count. So you'll see it automatically sees how many pages long your document is and puts that at the end of it. And the way that I achieved this result is I typed the word page, space, I inserted, I would insert the page number, okay, at the bottom, and then I would type space and then of, and then space, and then I inserted page count, so it automatically does that. So that's kind of a handy tool if you want to have your pages say page whatever of whatever. That's a nice tool to use there. Okay, so that's it for lesson 11. We'll see you next time.